Comic review. Comic review. Remember everyone's favorite female superhero? She had a mini-series come out recently. It sucked. Alright, before I jump into this review, I would like to say a few words about Susan Storm Richards. I think she is one of my favorite characters in the entire Marvel pantheon of characters. If not, she's in my top 3, right next to Moon Knight and probably Silver Surfer. Susan Storm is the only character keeping Reed stable without having a breakdown and ruining his life and everyone else is around him. She is a very important character, and when I found out she was getting a miniseries, I was jumping with joy. I really like this character. I really think you can do some really interesting directing with her in a solo title. What's it like being a mother? What's it like being a member of the most prominent superhero team ever? How do you explore that as a woman, as an individual? But no, we're not going to do that. We're going to completely rewrite her history, and she's going to be a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent who kind of had like a weird flirty relationship with this weird guy. I mean, this could have been a good book if it wasn't Sue Storm. If it was maybe Black Widow, I could see it being better. If it was even Maria Hill, I could see it being better. But no, those are supporting characters in an Invisible Woman book. What? Why are those two characters in an Invisible Woman book talking about her history? First off, it's written by Mark Waid. If you are a fan of Mark Waid, he's written Fantastic Four before. Apparently he knows these characters well. I'd argue that he doesn't know these characters well at all, and that he shouldn't write them, especially Susan. I really like the cover art by Adam Hughes on all the covers. I think it invokes a really nice era that it's going for of the spy aesthetic. But where it really shines to me is the art by Matea D. Elias. I think that's how you say that name. This artwork was in that Kelly Thompson Jessica Jones book. I really like their work. I think the flat colors can really benefit and look prominent and important. And I really think it works for this book. The way that they draw Susan, I really like. I really enjoy the way she looks in this, and it's impressive. I don't really want to talk about the entire story because there's probably some people who are actually excited to read this, and I want them to have it. So, the Fantastic Four are only in the first issue, and you just kind of get like a page of them. The rest is about Susan Storm, her old spy partner, Aiden Tentrich or something. He goes missing. Susan is kind of forced back into the world to help go find him, and a whole bunch of hijinks on the way. What a weird and odd place to take a Invisible Woman comic book. It doesn't work. Like, she does not feel like a character that could be part of this world, and I still don't think she deserves to be in this world. Like, it makes no sense. She talks to Nick Fury Jr., she talks to Maria Hill, she even teams up with Black Widow for an issue. It was weird. There's a lot of cool things in here involving her powers that I really liked. You see her change her hair color, change her whole color. She looks a little more tan. It's actually really, the way that's done is really good. My favorite scene is when she's going shot for shot with this certain guy. I can't even remember or be bothered to care. But then she just kind of makes it look like she drinks the actual alcohol when she doesn't, just to keep herself sober. I really liked that. That was really impressive. It goes to a bunch of basic spy places. There's a kidnapping. There's, espionage, betrayal, double agents, all that shit. And it ends up she has to pilot a plane. So that was really interesting and weird. I don't understand this book. Like, it's 5 issues. None of it really matters, and there's no real conclusion for Susan. She doesn't get, any, cinematic payoff in terms of, oh, here's how it's really gonna happen. I don't learn a lesson, I just kind of end things and the story is over. Nothing really happens in this book. It wasn't about spies. You don't have to make Susan Storm a prominent character who's a superhero about spies and just as an excuse to put her in seductive dresses and look pretty. She is already an impactfully powerful, beautiful woman. You could do that any way you spin it. It doesn't have to be in this spy motif because it makes no sense. Yes, she can turn invisible, but she doesn't want to kill people, so she can't be an effective spy. That might be the whole premise of the book, but it doesn't do anything to make the book better. Maybe don't have her be the secret agent or the SHIELD agent before she goes on the mission. Maybe Aiden is a guy from her past that she didn't know who his history was, and then she is thrust into this world where she has to learn to keep her profile low using these powers when the world knows who she is. That is a better story than what this turned out to be. Why is her relationship with Aiden so flirty? Why? Why do we do this to Susan, where she just can't have a healthy relationship with a guy? There always has to be the Namor or the Aiden to fuck her up from Reed. I don't get why we have to do this. She loves Reed. They got married. Their marriage is one of the few things that has stayed together in their continuity. Why are we changing that back? And why are we trying to add these random characters into her life that don't fucking matter? It's very annoying. It's hard to recommend this book. It really is. I mean, the artwork is beautiful. There's some really gorgeous covers on here. Adam Hughes, he really knows how to draw these beautiful women. So like this one, Maria Hill, like why is Maria Hill even in this book? She doesn't need to be in here. And I could go on a whole thing about Nick Fury Jr. I don't think the character is important or relevant for anything. But, you know, Samuel L. Jackson's in the movies. This cover, I like this cover. Looks gorgeous. But this is not a cover for an Invisible Woman book. This is a cover for a Black Cat book, even a Mary Jane book. I'd even go as far to say this is a Batgirl cover. Not an Invisible Woman cover. I'm very upset that this is an Invisible Woman cover. I really want a good Invisible Woman miniseries. I really, really want it because she's a very great and interesting character. She deserves better than this. She doesn't deserve to be a spy. This is an easy pass, which really sucks because the Fantastic Four just came back in recent years, and this is what we're doing with them. This, like, we can do more. They're getting that Grand Design book. I think that's already out. That one I should say check out. Go read the Dan Slott run. It's in a weird place right now with Point of Origin. Probably going to start reviewing that one after Point of Origin because it's just it's too much. I don't know. Susan Storm's important to me. She deserves more. She deserves a better book, and I hope Mark Waid can have the chance to do it again because I think he could pull it off and do something good. But why does she have to be a SHIELD agent? I don't know. And I hope we get something better with her because she deserves it and I love her that much. So that's what I have to say on the Invisible Woman mini. Pick it up if you are a fan of Matea's art style because it is beautiful in here and she looks incredible in those pages. But everything else, I can't recommend picking this one up, which is sad to say because I need more Susan in my life.